Hey everybody! In this video, I'm going to teach you how to restring your Rubik's Magic. Before you watch this video though, I want to warn you guys that restringing the Rubik's Magic isn't just a piece of cake. It'll probably take you an hour and you might run into a lot of frustration. So just be warned. Alright, so let's get started with the tutorial. Right now, your magic probably looks like this. A messy jumble of tangled up strings and tiles all over the place. To restring the magic, we have to separate all the strings in the tiles. There are two ways to do this. You can use Shorty Jutsu's ribbon method, which is nice and neat, or you can do what I do. Twist and turn the tiles to try to separate the strings in the tiles, and try not to break any strings in the process. Once all the strings and tiles are separated, rearrange the tiles until it looks something like this. This is the starting position of the Rubik's Magic. Now, as for your strings, count them up and make sure you have 16. You need 16 to fully restring a Rubik's Magic, but you can still restring it and it'll still work with less strings. I'll address that at the end of this video. But if you want to get some more strings, then you can buy them online. I'll post a link below. Or you can look at my tutorial on how to make a Rubik's Magic string. Now let's take a look at our Rubik's Magic tiles. They're arranged in the starting position of solving a Rubik's Magic. So there's 2 rows of 4 tiles each. A top row and a bottom row. We want to rearrange the tiles until there's 1 row of 8 tiles. So to do that, we want to rotate the bottom row to the top row. Now we have 1 row of 8 tiles. Basically, we want to do that because eventually we want to connect all 8 of these tiles with Rubik's Magic strings. After you've done that, it looks something like this. You can see that all 8 tiles are connected with Rubik's Magic strings. Obviously, when we're here, we haven't finished stringing the magic yet, but I'll tell you what to do when we get there. Alright, so we're going to string all 8 of these tiles. But each Rubik's Magic string can only string 3 tiles at a time. So take your first 3 tiles and put the rest aside, but don't mess them up because we're going to use them later. When you use Rubik's Magic strings to string the tiles, you have to string it in a certain pattern. In this video, I'm going to teach you everything. I'm going to teach you how to do that pattern, but I would also recommend going to a website or printing out diagrams of that pattern just for reference. It makes it a little bit easier. I'll post the link to this below. Alright, one more thing. If you look at each of the tiles, they have these slits in them, or grooves if you want to call it that. They're all over the tiles, on every tile and also on the back. These slits are where the strings go in. That's where they are when you string the magic. So just understand that. Take your string and form a loop with it, like this. Now put that loop in the slit on the back of this corner. So lift it up and put it in that slit on the back. Now pull this way. Now we have 2 parts of the string. An outside part and an inside part. Take that outside part and put it in the slit on the back of this corner. So lift it up and put it in the slit in the back. Now pull that way. Now first make sure the string is in this slit, and then we have 2 sides of the string here. An outside part and an inside part. Take that outside part and put it in the slit on the back of this corner. So go like this, and here's that string, and put it under the slit like this. Now pull that way. Now make sure the strings are in these 2 slits. So now over here we have 2 sides of the string. an outside part and an inside part. Take the outside part and put it in the slit on the other side of this corner. Now pull this way. Now we've got two sides of the string here, an outside part and an inside part. Take the outside part and cross it over the inside to form a loop. Now put this tile here and put this loop in the slit on the back of that corner. Now pull this way until the strings are tight. Make sure you've got a string on top of this and a string in here too, in this slit. So put the remaining part of the string in the slit on the back of this corner. And keep everything in place. And now we've strung the first three tiles. What we've just done was stringing pattern C. We went like this, here, here, and then here. Now this is pretty weak. The tiles can fall apart really easily. So we're going to flip this over vertically and do the same thing on the back. So we're going to do stringing pattern C again. Go from here to here to here to here and back. So take your loop, put it in the slit on the back of this corner, pull this way. Now take the outside part and put it in the slit on the back of this corner. So lift it up and put it in that slit. Now pull this way. Now take the outside part and put it in the slit on the back of this corner. So lift it up and put it in. Now pull this way. Now make sure the strings are in these two slits. Now take the outside part and put it in the slit on the back of this corner. Now pull this way. Now take the outside part and cross it over the inside to form a loop. Now put that loop in the slit on the back of this corner. Now pull that way. Now make sure you have the string in this slit and the string in this slit, and put the remaining part of the string in the slit on the back of this corner. Now make sure all the strings are in the proper slits. And now we've strung these three tiles with stringing pattern C on the front and on the back. If you did it correctly, you should be able to do this. If you can't do that, then you did something wrong and you'll just have to start all over again. Now, remember we want to string all 8 tiles, but we can only string 3 tiles at a time with the Rubik's Magic string. So what we're going to do next is take your next tile and put it here. Now we're going to string these 3 tiles on the front and on the back. We're going to use a different string pattern called string pattern D. Don't worry though, it's almost the same as string pattern C, but just mirrored. You'll see what I mean. In the first 3 tiles we did string pattern C. It looked like this. String pattern D is almost the same thing, just on the other side. So it starts from down, like this. So it's almost the same thing. So take your loop and put it in the slit on the back of this corner. So go like that. Pull this way. Now take the outside part and put it in the back of this corner. So lift it up, put it in there. Pull this way. Now take the outside part and put it in the slit on the back of this corner. Lift it up a little bit and put it in there. Now pull this way and make sure these strings are in these two slits. Now we've got two sides of the string here, outside and inside. Take the outside part and put it in the slit on the back of this corner. Now pull this way. Now take the outside part and cross it over the inside to form a loop. Now put that loop in the slit on the back of this corner. Now pull this way until the strings are tight. Now make sure you have a string in this slit and one right there. Now pull the remaining part of the string until it's in the slit on the back of this corner. Now we've strung these three tiles with string pattern D. Now we're going to do the same thing on the back side. So flip it over vertically and let's start it on the back. So take your loop, put it in the back of this corner. Pull this way. Take the outside part, put it in the back of this corner. Pull this way. Take the outside part, put it in the back of this corner. Pull this way. Make sure the strings are in these two slits. Now take the outside part and put it in the back of this corner. And pull this way. Take the outside part and cross it over the inside to form a loop. Put that loop in the back of this corner. Now pull this way. Make sure you have a string in this slit and this one over here. Now pull the remaining part of the string and put it in the slit on the back of this corner. Now we've strung these three tiles with string pattern D on the front and on the back. If you did everything correctly, you should be able to do this. If you can't do that, then you messed up and you'll have to start all over. So now take your next tile and put it here. We're going to string these three tiles on the front and back with string pattern C. Now we're going to flip it over vertically and string these three tiles with string pattern C. Now we've strung these three tiles with string pattern C on the front and on the back. Now we're going to add another tile and string these three tiles on the front and the back with string pattern D. If you haven't noticed already, we've been alternating between C, D, and C, D, so it's just good to know. So string pattern D on the front and then on the back. Now we're going to do string pattern D on the back. Now we've strung these three tiles with string pattern D on the front and on the back. Now you should be able to do this. Okay, so add your next tile and we're going to do string pattern C on the front and on the back. Now string pattern C on the back. Okay, so we finished string pattern C on the front and on the back. And add your last tile, and we're going to do string pattern D on the front and on the back. Now stringing pattern D on the back. Alright, now we've connected all 8 of these tiles with Rubik's Magic strings. What do we do next? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to connect these 2 ends of the tiles. To do that, fold it up into like sort of a circle, kind of, into like this. And now we're going to string these 3 tiles with string pattern C on the front and on the back. And then we're going to do string pattern D with these 3 tiles on the front and on the back. And after that, we're done. Now, if you can't open these up like this, if it's like stuck, it won't open, that means you made a mistake somewhere. What probably happened is, you see this? Remember how when we were stringing, we put the string in the slit, in one of the slits on the back? What probably happened is the string got stuck in between the middle of the tiles. So that might be why you're not able to open this up. So try to find that and see if you can fix it. Just try to pull something or whatever. But if you can't fix it, then you'll have to start all over, which stinks. But alright, anyways, we're going to do string pattern C on the front and on the back. Now we're going to do string pattern C on the back, like this. Now we've done string pattern C on the front and on the back. Now we're going to do string pattern D on the front and on the back. Now we're going to do string pattern D on the back. This is our last one. Alright, now we have completed stringing. So to get it back to the starting position, go like this, open it up, and here we are. Now first do a test solve to see everything is working correctly. Alright, everything seems to be working correctly, so if yours isn't, you probably made a mistake somewhere. What I mentioned before about the string getting caught in between the middle of the tiles, it's very likely that that happened. But you can try to fix it, but if you can't, you'll just have to start over, which stinks. Okay, in the beginning of this video, I was talking about what to do if you don't have 16 strings. You can still function with less than that. So first, let's get back to where we were before. Alright, we were here. So what we did was D on the front and then D on the back. If you only have 15 strings, then you just do D on the front and don't do D on the back. If you only have 14, then you can not do D at all, or you can do C on the front and then D on the front. If you don't have enough strings, then just do things on the front and not on the back. So with that, I think you can string the entire magic with just 8 strings, just only on the front and not doing anything on the back. But the less strings you have, the less stable the magic is, and it's a lot easier to break it. And especially with 8 strings, it's just going to break like so easily. So I've never done that. You could try it, but I really recommend just getting some more strings or something. Alright, so I hope this video has helped you. I hope now that your magic is completely restrung. If not, sorry, you just have to redo everything. But I hope you liked this video and I hope you found it helpful. And if you have any questions, just comment below or send me a message. Thanks for watching.